What is up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's time for episode 11 of Guardians franchise. We're here on September 9th. We're sitting pretty well at 79 and 58. We got ourselves a little stretch run, but plenty of catch up to do before we get into that. So let's start with the draft recap. I took you through about the first 11 rounds or so here, and I'm just going to cover our top 5 again in case if you skipped that episode or just didn't get all the way through it. It was a little bit of a meandering episode. I will freely admit that. I don't even think I started the draft until about 25 minutes through. I think that was toward the end or the day after a big recording session. So I'd done a lot in a compacted time. So I apologize if that one isn't the highest caliber. But we took Chase Shores with our number 1 pick. I clicked on the wrong guy, Liam Doyle there. We took Chase Shores, and he's a pretty solid pitcher. Nothing too special. I mean, low work ethic was kind of the theme of the draft, which is not a good theme. I freely acknowledge that too. But the talent was there, and I figure we'll take a shot. We brought back Luke Billings. I say brought back because we took him in the Cincinnati franchise that we did last year, and he became a very special player. Now, I'm not expecting that from him here. I'm not holding him to that standard. This is a completely separate run of Luke Billings, not even just obviously being a separate sim, but in a different game too. So, we're going to hope that he can pan out to be good, but if not, no bigs. And also low work ethic. Then we took Patrick Forbes. Hey, guess what? High work ethic. Yeah, threw a little curveball at you there. He himself throws a curveball, and it happens to be his best pitch. So another interesting starter here that has some work to do, but has some upside for sure. Then we took Jacob Parker, who is a decent hitter with some pop. Low work ethic again. So 3 of our first 4. I can't recall ever doing that. It just feels so weird. And then we ended the top 5 rounds with Cooper Fulbright. A decent arm. He's got 3 pitches, definitely starter capable. Has some development to do, is an 18-year-old, so, he'll be on the longer track. But there you go. There's our top 5. Like I said, I went into the top 11. There was nothing terribly special in the back half plus of the draft. Don't forget it was a 30-rounder this year instead of 20, just to give a little bit of extra minor league filler, basically, for the expansion teams. Now, they had filled their minors before that, but probably with a bunch of crappy guys. So they can cut some of that chaff and bring in, let these draftees come in and hopefully be a bit better for them. Don't forget, last episode we did lose Shane Bieber. That was the open of the last episode. But we did get 4 All-Stars. So we got Shane Bieber, Franco Alamon, Emmanuel Clase, and Andres Jimenez. So a nice little 4-pack there for sure. Definitely happy with how that turned out, that we got 4 guys. It's just annoying that we don't currently have one of them. And that, of course, is Biebs. I did want to take a quick look at the All-Stars as a whole. I think it's a good way to kind of keep up with the league a bit. And so that's kind of one of the ways that I like to, just kind of check in and see what's going on. Oh, All-Stars only brings up 1 email. That's kind of weird, but hey, that actually worked. It took us back to this time period, and here we go. Here's the rosters. Those are the future game rosters. Oh, in the futures game, I don't think I wrote it down, did I? No, I think we only got Khalil Watson, which was kind of weird for our deep system to only get 1 guy. I was a little bit surprised by that. I know, we're graduating Espino. He wasn't going to make it, but only 1 guy. I was a little perplexed. But anyway, the Major League All-Stars. You got Biebs, of course, at the top, taunting us now that he's hurt. Landon Knack is over in Oakland doing some good things. What's also interesting here is that we kind of get to see a lot of the second half here to see who kind of held on. Knack might have just been Oakland's single pick. Let's see how they're doing. Yeah, they're 53 and 83, so they're pretty bad. He might have just been their single pick that kind of made it because he was the best on a modest team, right? Because he's not having the biggest season. Let's see. He did have a strong April, 2.31 ERA, but then 4.12, 4.45, 2.55, 6.75, and 5.79. He's definitely fallen off in the second half, but Landon Knack was the Oakland representative. Lance McCullers Jr. is back. Has been back since last year when he got 17 starts. They did not go well, but Houston stuck with him, and he's put together a really nice season this year. 3.42 ERA, 1.23 WHIP, and his second All-Star bid. Cole Reagans is still out in KC, and he's still a beast. Now, at the break, I'm so embarrassed. regarding the Landon Knack, I went into his splits to find, try to see how he was doing in the first half when the stats are right here. So he had a 3.45 ERA, 122 whip. This is Knack, and now he has 4.20, 130. So yeah, there you can get a better picture of the fall off. Cole Reagans has come back to earth a bit in the second half. Not that he's been horrendous, although actually now that I'm looking at it, he had a 2.41, 121 ERA whip, and now he's at 3.14, 130. The ERA is still good. 3.14, you'll take that, but 130 on the whip. It's probably been pretty rough in the second half. Let's take a look. 147 in August, 167 so far in September. That's only one start. And then 135 in July. Now, part of that was after the break, part of it was before. So we're not going to go in and do the math or anything. Tarek Skubal, dominating for Detroit still. 4.02 ERA, 128 whip. So he was doing better. I guess dominating overstates it a little bit, but he's having a great season. It's still an undeniably quality campaign, but they're 55 and 84, so they stink. That might be their only rep. I don't see any other debts on there. Fromber Valdez, 3.52 ERA, 134 whip, looking pretty good for Houston. I think Houston's back, right? Yeah, 71 and 65. They might not have ever left in this universe. I shouldn't say back. They didn't have the fall off that they've had in our real world right now. And I will say, the way they've been playing lately, that fall off might be a distant memory come playoff time. They might storm the castle and make it all the way back into contention. So if you thought they were going away, don't count your chickens yet. Brian Wu had a 3.66 ERA and about 2 WAR going into the break. He's got a 4 ERA now with a 123 whip and about, where's his WAR? And about 3-4 WAR, depending on which one you're looking at and how you're rounding. So he's been pretty good still, even though the ERA crept up to 4. That's not bad. So yeah, and just for context, a 4 ERA is 8% better than league average. So that's pretty solid. It's not like off the charts, but it's good. Our boy Franco Alomar, now he's had a worse second half. We can see here 3.21 ERA, 107 whip. Now look up and it's 4.01, 122. Yikes. That's actually a really rough second half for Alomar. Yeah, brutal July, devastatingly bad August, 4 shutout innings here so far in September. So hopefully we get him back on track because, we're going to need him in the playoffs big time. Yanier Cano for Baltimore, 0.95 whip at the break, and it's 0.89 now. Hey, finally somebody who's been better in the second half. Look at him. He'll be in contention for reliever of the year. Miguel Castro for Minnesota had a 1.53 ERA at the break, but a 1.23 whip said, okay, that ERA is going to go up, and it has up to 2.90, which, hey, nobody's crying about a 2.90, and I love the usage here. 71 innings and 53 appearances. I always point it out, I know that, but it just always makes me happy when teams use relievers for more than just 1 inning per appearance. Get some volume out of these guys. It's not just 5-inning guy or 1-inning guy. There are 2 to 4 inning types. Griffin Jacks, I skipped over our boy Clase, sorry. Clase, 174 ERA, 0.98 whip for the season now, and he had a 118, 1 flat coming into the break. So the ERA has gone up, but the whip's actually come down, and I'll take that. A few extra runs getting by, but you're putting on fewer base runners, that's fine by me. Because whip is more an indicator of your skill, whereas ERA has a bit more luck on it. Now, both can have infusions of luck, like whip is walks plus hits divided by innings. If you have a lucky BABIP or an unsustainable BABIP that, is really tiny, then your whip might not be fully indicative of how good you are, et cetera, et cetera. I know there's exceptions. I'm not trying to say hard and fast rules there. But then Griffin Jacks with Minnesota. So they had 2 guys in, Castro and Jacks. Now, Jacks is falling apart in the second half. 3.38 ERA, 128 whip. He's up to 5.33, 164. Meltdown city for our boy Jacks. Wow. Actually, the fall off really started even before the break. In June, he put up a 5.23 ERA, but he was so brilliant in April, May that he still made it. Fell apart further in July and stayed horrendous in August and hasn't been much better in a tiny September sample of an inning and a third. Jax is falling apart for them. That's unfortunate. Then we had Gregory Soto back in the AL Central, this time with the White Sox, putting up a hell of a season. 2.43 ERA, 0.94 WHIP. Okay, Gregory Soto, I see you. 2.89, 0.96 coming into the break. So he's gotten better on the ERA standpoint, and just a tinge worse on the WHIP. So Soto's just been a god. Pete Fairbanks, 1.48 ERA, 0.90 WHIP for the year. Now it looks like he missed time. He only has 24 innings, and he had a torn rotator cuff in late June. So he made the All-Star team whilst injured. Oh yeah, says it right there. And now he's going to be out for 6 more weeks. Yikes. So that stings. Is Tampa Bay good? Tampa Bay, they're in the mix. Yeah, they're holding the wild card now. Yeah, so they need him. So they'll get him in 6 weeks. That means they'd have to make the playoffs and probably win a round to really get him back. 3 catchers, Freddie Fermin, having a nice year, 129 WRC plus for the Yankees, not the Royals, but he was with the Royals. Okay, so he's been traded. He made the All-Star team with the Royals. He put up a 110 WRC plus with them. He's been great since the trade over. What did the Royals get? They got Jock Peterson straight up. Horrendous deal. Horrendous, right? I almost don't even need to know the circumstances. It's nothing against Jock. What do the Royals need with Jock? Like, they're 4 games out. I'm sorry, that's not a good deal. They're a team that's not in, fully in contention. Now, Fermin is not some game changer fundamental piece. He's a 30-year-old catcher, of some repute, but I just don't like that deal. I just don't see the value in that for them. Jonah Heim's in Minnesota. He got there last season, so our first year he got traded over, had an amazing run with them after the trade deadline, and has held up for a nice season so far this year. 98 WRC plus, 2.2 WAR. And then Adley, he was the starter. He's a god. Already has 4 WAR and only played 92 games. He's actually missed some time. About a month-long oblique strain, and then a bruised shoulder for a week a little bit before that. So he's had a couple small injuries this year. Well, I'd say 3 to 4 weeks isn't small. It's at least a medium injury. So a small and a medium, and all of a sudden he's under 100 games. But so good when he plays that he is still, in contention for one of the best catchers of the year. Even if he only plays, what's he going to end up with, like 110, 112 games type vibe? So that's kind of crazy. Vlad Jr. over at first, huge run for him. 3 WAR, 143 WRC plus, 24 homers. Remember, we could have maybe gotten him for Espino. There was some chatter about that, but it just didn't feel like the right move. Yes, he's 26, so he's on the right, side of the aging curve and very much on the young end. But with this big deal, I don't know. It's not horrendous. Even 37 mil, I know that's a ton, but if he's putting up consistent, 4 or 5, well, actually, he hasn't been doing that though. Yeah, I would want like 4 or 5 win seasons, not 4 seasons of 5 wins, although that would be amazing. I meant 4 to 5 WAR per season, even 3 to 5 WAR. But I don't know if that he's like fully bankable for 3 WAR, because even at like a higher end WAR per dollar register, let's say it's 10 mil per WAR. That's easy math. 3 WAR is only getting you 30 mil of value, but I could live with that. The extra 7 that isn't being met or whatever, I could live with that. But I don't even know if he's bankable for that, and he's already at first base, which is tough. Eloise Montero is with the expansion Dachshunds, and he's not having a great year. 81 WRC plus. He was probably their token invite. He had a 98 WRC plus when he got the bid, but he was their lone guy. Vinny Pasquantino, he has a star next to him, which I believe is for the starters, and so does Vlad. So I would imagine that means Vinny P or Vlad, one of the two, was also the starting DH. But Vinny P had a 140 WRC plus at the break. He's down to 116, but he's still having a good year. I love Vinny P. Nolan Schanuel out in LA having a blazing hot season. He's got 5 WAR. This is a back-to-back 5-win seasons. Okay, Nolan, I see you. I see you developing some power from where I do not know. Holy smokes. Y'all, he is not supposed to develop as a power guy. Now, I'm not saying that that's bad or anything. I'm not saying like just because of how he is in real life that he can't take a different trajectory, because in real life, Who knows? Maybe he figures out power. There is something to be said for like really good hit tool discipline guys being able to be taught power because they already understand the zone, they understand pitch recognition. If you can get some alterations like on their swing to help them, tap into the most power possible, they can make a big change. Now, we haven't seen anything like that from Sean Well. I don't believe he's going to do that, but it's not completely out of the realm of believability for somebody to do that. So quickly, maybe. But hey, he went to one of those academies in the offseason. They taught him a new swing, and here he is. 35 bombs last year, 27 this year with about a month left. Wow. Nolan Schanuel, insane. Our boy Andres Jimenez had 3 WAR at the break. He's got 3.6 now. So he hasn't been crazy in the second half, but he's been fine. He's been fine. He was a little rough in August, 86 WRC plus, but I'm not tripping over that. He was great in July, so a lot of that was probably after the break. And then so far 5 games in September, he's getting back on track. Yeah, we're not sweating that. An all-star break when you make the all-star team, in a lot of cases, if you aren't, a legacy player who's kind of being voted in for having a good year, but maybe not top of the scale, when you are more of like they're strictly on performance, there's almost no way it doesn't come down. That's just the nature of, being at the high end of your season, you're going to come back down. Then we got Jackson Holliday. He was voted in as the starter. 6 wins already. He had 6 WAR last year. He is the man. He's arrived. Rafael Devers, 6 WAR for him already. 36 bombs. Already has more than he did last year in 26 fewer games. What a monster. Isaac Paredes. Ooh, he's fallen. Oh, no. He's gone up. Excuse me. These are the composite numbers. So at the break, Paredes had a 142 WRC plus, and it's 145 now. So it's only 3 points up, but that's, compare that to everyone that we've been seeing so far. A lot of guys are coming down. Isaac Paredes goes up. Marcelo Meyer gives the Red Sox a really strong left side of the infield with Devers and Meyer. Now, Devers doesn't bring the defense, but he brings a crazy bat. Meyer brings the whole game, headlined, by the brilliant glove. And then, the bat is no slouch itself with a 135 WRC plus. He has also arrived. He and Holiday kind of taken over the AL Cobb over here. Then you got Connor Norby. Baltimore just keeps churning him out. 126 WRC plus 1.6 WAR on the year. He had 147 and 1.8 at the break. So he's really come down. This is probably one of the bigger falls that we've seen. Oh my God. Oh, I can't even look at that. Oh, that's so gross. 37 WRC plus in August. 12 so far in 3 games in September. Tiny sample. We're not going to hold him to that for September, but the August one, yikes. Did he get hurt at any point? Mild groin strain, 4 days. That was back in June. I don't know. I wonder if he's losing playing time, Connor Norby, because that is rough. Corey Seager, he's amazing. Reigning MVP. Probably not going to win again, barring like the September from heaven, but still putting up another 4-win season. Did miss some time. Only has 106 games played. Couple weeks with back stiffness, couple weeks with a sore elbow, and a few weeks with a intercostal strain. So 3 injuries of 2 and 3 weeks. That's kind of the Seager experience. But when he plays, he's a god. Bobby Witt Jr., looking nice, 5 WAR. Great season from him, 123 WRC plus on the season. Colton Cowser, God, Baltimore had so many guys. Colton Cowser, he was at the break, he was doing the classic 300, 400, 500 with his slash line. And it included a 418 OBP and a 550 slug. 15 homers, 18 steals. Now, here in September, it's 19 and 28 on the homers and steals with 5 WAR. He's awesome. He's unbelievable. Wyatt Langford, man, the young guys are taking over. He's got 8 WAR now. So Corey Seager did it last year. He passed the baton over to Langford, said, I'm going to maybe have couple injuries this year, take it a little easier. Young buck, you do your thing and go be an MVP candidate. And that's exactly what he's doing. Wyatt Langford, a force. And then Evan Carter, they come back with another one. 169 WRC plus and 7 WAR on the season for him. He'll be in the MVP talks. Now he is out for another couple weeks with an intercostal strain of his own. Thankfully, that's been the only significant injury on the year, and it happened back in September 5th. Okay, so it just happened, and it's a small, like 1 to 2 weeker, so it shouldn't kill Carter, but he's already behind Langford, so missing any time is pretty detrimental to his MVP case. Lubob, Luis Robert Jr., had a 108 WRC plus 3 WAR at the break. He's got a 98 with 3.2 WAR, so it's 3.1 to 3.2. Like, it hasn't had the best second half. Has missed some time with some wrist tendonitis, some back spasms, a knee contusion. All 3 of those injuries in the second half for Robert have really hurt him. And then Mike Trout, 145 WRC plus and 4 WAR. Aaron Judge, another 6 WAR season. He's just a god every year. And I realize that actually took a while, so sorry, NL, you're gonna get the short end of it here. I'm just gonna say the names and maybe click on a couple that stand out. But Max Fried is still with Atlanta, and he's amazing. Tyler Glasnow out with the Dodgers. Kyle Harrison with the Giants. Luzardo still with Miami. Blake Snell's with the Mets. We did know that. He's having a nice year. Justin Steele with the Cubs. Had a great first half. Oh, and he's kept it up. He's definitely a Cy Young candidate. Yamamoto only had a 4.32 ERA at the break. It's down to 3.43 though. So, the fans took a shot on him, getting him voted in, and he's still killing it. Ryan Helsley is with Milwaukee now. He came there in the offseason. So the little intra-division trade there for some prospects. That's interesting. And he's having a great year. Well, he was at the break. Yeah, he's having an even better year now that we look deeper into it. Miles Michaelis is coming out of the bullpen for St. Louis as like a 2 innings per type of guy, which I love. I just got done saying that. 111 innings and 52 appearances. Perfect role for him. He's been great. Cody Poteet and Wade Miley are both with Pittsburgh playing well. So that's a nice couple all-star pitchers there. Edwin Diaz, unfortunately, just lost his job in real life, at least temporarily. He wasn't doing that well at the break, but he's justified the pick now, shaving about a half run off of his ERA in the second half. Raisel Iglesias is still with Atlanta. He also had a rough first half. He's shaved a half run off of his ERA, but he still had a 4.28, 146. So he kind of got there on reputation. They had 4 catchers go. Wilson Contreras, Gabriel Moreno, I was seeing Tyler Stevenson, Sean Murphy, and then Tyler Stevenson. Wilson, I should say. Gabriel Moreno and Murphy were all with their current teams. Tyler Stevenson, of course, with the Portland Rosebuds, the expansion club. Then Freddie Freeman with the Dodgers. Oh, he's currently hurt. Oh, no, he was hurt. Okay. I wasn't sure if this indicated that they were hurt at the All-Star game or now. I didn't think it was dynamic, though, so I shouldn't have assumed that it was, saying they were hurt now. But, yeah, Freeman is back from whatever injury was ailing him. Matt Olson still with Atlanta. Graham Pauley with San Diego was having quite the first half. He put up a 125 WRC plus and 2 wins. So that helped him get a bid. And, he hasn't been quite that good down in the second half here, but he still has 2.5 WAR and a 119 WRC plus. It's still a nice season that they've gotten out of the 24-year-old for sure. So, and he got an all-star bid, so good for him. Oh, Brock Wilken, I wanted to talk about him, so I'm glad he came up for the all-star game. He won the home run derby. This dude is really interesting, and a lot of times I discover prospects via this game and then carry that knowledge over to the real world and, maybe keep tabs on them for fantasy purposes or just for, regular baseball purposes. And they don't always pan out the same, of course. This game doesn't predict the future, but it can help you learn about some players. Now, I didn't know about Brock Wilkins, so I was like, damn, this guy won the home run derby? Who is this guy? Well, he's got 70 raw power, which is, basically batting practice power. Like, his core strength is there. Can he get to it in game? Is the question. In our universe, the answer is a resounding yes. He made the jump from AA this year and is having a huge rookie campaign. 151 WRC plus, 4 wins, 38 bombs, and 115 ribs through 125 games so far. Just excellent, excellent work. In real life, not yet. And I say not yet because, of course, there is still time. This is only 2025 in this universe that we're in, so there's plenty of time for him to get going. The thing was, he got hit in the face with a pitch, and that really kind of derailed him a bit, as you might expect it to, right? Like, that's a pretty devastating thing to deal with. So he was drafted with the 18th pick overall back in 2023. So just last year, in our world, 2 years ago in the video game. And it's, like I said, it's been a slow and go. He hasn't had a ton of playing time, got hit in the face, and that's been kind of the derailment. Only 18 games so far this year. He is in AA, but I tell you what, I'm going to start keeping tabs on Brock Wilken now. I want to see if that power starts to come around as he reestablishes his footing in pro ball, or not even reestablishes, because he was just drafted. So as he establishes himself, I'm curious to see if he can really tap into that next level power and really be what we're seeing here in game as he breaks out. Then Matt McClain in Cincy, he's a god. I wanted to trade for him, but they wouldn't take like our 10 best players. Christopher Morel with the Cubs has been great. 4-win campaign last year, already at 5 this year. Oh, a homer away from 40. Wow. Nolan Arenado, he's not falling off the way we've seen in real life. He did have a little bit of a fall off last year, the way he is in real life, but then he bounced back. So maybe that'll happen in this world, because he hasn't been very good this year. The Cardinals as a whole have struggled again, and I thought they'd rebound, y'all. I'm not saying like I'm, feeling sorry for them. The Cardinals have had plenty of success. Sorry, Cards fans, no hate. Well, a little bit of hate for 2006, but I'm not trying to be nasty to y'all. I'm just saying, I was saying a second ago, I thought y'all were going to come back and be good again. I was just like, the Cardinals devil magic doesn't stay down 2 years in a row. But here we are, they're 20-26, and things just don't look good. Arenado and Goldie have been sputtering. Now, Goldie's struggles are on a different level than Arenado. Arenado's just kind of like meandering along. He's got a 105 OPS plus. He's just kind of like a league average, solid, everyday dude. Goldie, he's really struggling, but we'll see. Anyway, Arenado bounced back in this universe. Brett Beatty with the Mets. Ellie with Cincy, of course. Brady House with Washington. Really nice season. He's got 3 WAR, 35 bombs for him. Ryan McMahon with Jacksonville, formerly Colorado, of course. Willie Adames with the Dodgers. Noelvi Marte back from his suspension and everything, just picking up where his prospect status left off. Just put a casual 5-win campaign, no big deal. Juan Soto with the Dodgers. Corbin Carroll still with the Diamondbacks, of course. James Outman with the Dodgers. Acuna was injured at the break. He's healthy now. He's back to putting up a great season. Dylan Cruz is up with Washington. Ooh, he made the jump from AA. He only played 12 games there last year. Wait, so he must have been hurt in 24. Okay, Torres Labrum, wow. So he lost a ton of last year, only played 22 games between high A and AA. After he recovered, they said, screw it, just get in the majors. And he's like, okay, cool, I'll go be a beast there. And so far, he's been great. Then Sal Frelick with Milwaukee, Bryce Harper with Philly, and Shohei with the Dodgers. All right, so that took entirely too long. But I think that's an easy way to kind of keep up with how the league is, how some of the players in the league are doing. Speaking of the league, I mentioned we were 79-58. We're sitting third in the division. I'll get into some more of that in just a moment. We did make one deal at the deadline, and it was a pretty decent deal. I think so, in terms of like size of deal and everything. So, I was looking, I was like, well, where can we really improve? Obviously, I'm still obsessing a little bit over a righty bat, although I did finally realize that, like, hey, dum-dum, Charlie Condon can fill that role. Now, I will say, and I'll get to it in more detail in a moment, he didn't come up until September expansion. And again, I'll detail why in a moment. It just didn't really fit. So I was looking like, well, where can we make an improvement? And I felt like the pitching staff could maybe use an improvement. Like, we have a good staff. Pitching is our strength, but you never know with pitching. In fact, from the last time we checked in, we're now in a lot of like 4th through 8th level with it, as opposed to 1st through 3rd. So even the pitching has come down a little bit here in the second half, but it's still good. I still like where it's at. But the second that you get comfortable with your pitching, 52 injuries happen. So I didn't want to rest on our laurels at all. and I decided to go looking for a move there. Plus, we still had all that extra money. I mean, we still do, by the way. And this is with taking on a contract deal. But I'm just like, I want to spend some of this just so that they don't completely take it away from us and say, oh, you clearly don't need that money. I'm already kind of nervous having 23 mil just sitting there. So I went and called up San Francisco, who is not competing. They weren't competing at the time. I just wanted to see if they had made like a comeback or anything. But they weren't really doing that well. So, I try not to take, I kind of adhere to the same thing that I think I see Old School Sports and Faye and PF Holden and them do. Like, don't try to go ravage a contending team because that's unrealistic. Like, the game might say they're available and you might be able to do a trade. But, like, you're not going to go to the Dodgers and just get Soto. Or it doesn't even have to be Soto, who's like a god, but like even James Outman, they're not really going to trade him for prospects right now. The real life team might because he's in the minors, but you know what I'm saying. So I try to be mindful of that. It doesn't mean I'll never trade with a contender, but if I'm taking like key pieces, I'm trying to take it from a team that's clearly looking toward the future. So I found that with San Francisco, and I picked up Zach Eflin. Now, he hasn't been good. Cut right to the chase there. 5.36 ERA, 1.32 WHIP. It hasn't really gone that well. He had a 5.09 ERA with them, but a 1.14 WHIP. And so with that great WHIP and some decent skills, he had a 16% strikeout minus walk. I figured, hey, he can get better. Can he curb the home runs a little bit? Maybe I should have been skeptical of that happening, considering he had a 1.7 homer 9 with San Francisco. It is down to 1.5 with us, but that's a negligible difference. So I think that's still causing a problem, and a low left on base rate. Those two things are combining. You get guys on base, you give up a home run. Well, you didn't strand those guys, and you gave up a homer. So pretty rough, but that's all right. We can use him as a bullpen piece in the playoffs. So I got him, but I didn't want to just get him just in case he didn't do well. We're taking on the 18 mil. That's fine. But if he didn't improve on these numbers, I want to get something else in the deal. So I did just that. And I got Patrick Bailey. Y'all know how I love my switch hitting catchers if you have watched many of my series in the past. And so I got just that. Oh, Michael Massey just tanked one out. 1-0 Royals. Damn. So I got Patrick Bailey, switch hitting catcher, with a bunch of green on his hitting profile and a bunch of blue and, aquamarine, turquoise, teal, whatever the hell you want to call this color. I don't think it's turquoise quite, but you get it, teal. An amazing defensive profile. He's also a fan fave with high adaptability, work ethic, low financial ambition. This is a dude for us, right? Catcher's been a bit of a problem because we're kind of sticking with Naylor a little bit because he has an intriguing bat, but he's not a very good defender. And then I had Tomas Nido backing him up with the great glove, but he wasn't working either. So I DFA'd him. I DFA'd Nido. What did we give up? This didn't come without a cost. Not only did we pay the money, but we had to give a top 100 prospect. Angel Martinez was the headlining piece of this deal. And you can see he's still 74th ranked here according to his profile. And it's not that I don't think that he's good. Like, he's 23 years old. Like, he could have definitely been a piece for us, but the middle infield is kind of our strength, right? Jimenez, Arias, Rocchio, who's currently on the IL with a 5 to 6 week injury, unfortunately. That actually just happened 4 days before our current point here. And that's what caused me to stop. I was like, okay, this will be a good stopping point from simming offline. I'll get us caught up, and then we'll finish September. So yeah, I just didn't think that Angel Martinez was going to be with us anytime soon. So I figure trade from a strength and get some improvements. So I felt pretty good about that. Now, that's not all we gave. It was Angel Martinez, Joe Boyle, the live-armed righty, but he has no idea where it's going, and it's still a problem. So I really didn't mind including him. Jake Fox, another shortstop, but he can't really play shortstop. He's got a dreadful personality. Great eye, but that's it. I'm not really concerned about that. And then one more guy. Angel Genoa. Or Genoa, whatever. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's not Genoa because the A is not at the end. But anyway, another middle infielder. He can play short better than Fox, but still more of a second, third baseman. I mean, he's kind of a baby Martinez. He's younger than Martinez. He kind of looks like him a little bit. Let's compare those two side by side. Let's go to Martinez, compare. That's going to be Zach Eflin. Yeah, and if you look at them, same shape with the bat, even if you do the full potential. This on hell is better than this on hell. They're both switch hitters. I mean, yeah, it's two guys cut from the same mold. One's better than the other. So yeah, I felt like that was a pretty good trade though. Even though Eflin hasn't been great, I don't think he's terrible. He could still help us a bit down the stretch, perhaps. I don't know, maybe I turned the pitch around up. Actually, you know what? I didn't do override. Maybe I got to override a bit, turn it up, give him his shifts, see what that can do. Guard some lines, don't play the infield in, hold some runners. Let's just get wild with it and see if that helps. All right, so we did that. Other than that, I acquired Cody Funderburk off of the waiver wire. Pretty solid lefty. Sent out, I don't know, it was Heron or Henches at the time. I can't remember. I sent out somebody, but obviously things have changed since then. It was Heron because he's not here anymore. Oh, Espino went out for 3 weeks with a back issue, but he's already back on rehab, so that was a while ago. We're going to let him get a couple more rehab starts. It's been pretty bad so far, and then we'll bring him back up. Oh, and he's dealing with back tightness now from that. Wonderful. Let's just give him a little 5-day breather down there. What else? Oh, Joey Cantillo was Rookie of the Year in August. He's been amazing. Update on somebody. Cal Manzardo out in Baltimore is doing pretty well. He was Player of the Month in August, and he's having himself a nice season. 25 homers, 141 WRC plus, and 3 wins. Hey, it's not like I didn't know he could be good. He didn't have enough power for me to think that he could be that middle of the lineup foundational guy. He has been, okay? So he's played over the 55 power a bit, like, delivering more homers than you might normally expect 55 power. Although it's a 30 homer pace. Generally for me, 60 power is 30 homers. So he's not but 55 means it's like right there. So I guess he's not like greatly overperforming it, but he's been good. And we knew he could be good, but we wanted somebody that could actually play a bit more defense too. I talk about the defensive spectrum, right? The positions are ranked in order of importance, and obviously at the bottom is first base DH. And so even if you can get like a mediocre corner outfielder, that's a good bit better than somebody who's already at first base. So hats off to him. I'm not, pissed if he does well. We had to give to get, and we still feel good about what we got. Oh, I wanted to show, dude, Nick Sandlin's horrendous nightmare season continues. He's back in AAA. Let me just show what the hell's been going on here. Now, if you'll remember, he had, last year, he went 0-12 with like 512 meltdowns. This year, hasn't been that much better. I didn't even give him that much time in the majors, but he was horrendous. Comes back down to the minors. It looks like he's actually been getting better of late because 463, 121 looks downright good compared to where it's been. But he has had a tough season, a tough sim so far because he was bad in 2024 as well. So it's just been rough. I thought he was somebody who was going to be one of our big stopper, badass reliever types, but now he's lost the stamina to even be a stopper. He hasn't developed that extra BABIP or anything or the extra stuff. It's just been bad. All right, I mentioned Rocchio was out for 6 weeks with a thumb. I called up Khalil Watson in his stead. So Condon, Charlie Condon is now up at the September expansion. Now, the main reason I left him down was just simply put, we didn't actually need him, right? I could have brought him up, maybe squeezed him in, but as you might remember, we have a little bit of a tight fit with our outfield situation. Johnny DeLuca basically kind of guarantees himself a spot by being a competent center fielder. Like that alone is holding his spot right now. We can put Kerstead out there, but he's stretched a bit. I really prefer 65 range at a minimum. I'll put him there if we have to, but for now, I felt comfortable enough just going with DeLuca. and letting Kerstead mix in. And so then that left DeLauder, Renfroe, Stowers as our other outfielders. I was trying to be patient with DeLauder, and then after a while, I probably could have moved off of him a bit quicker, but you see the wretched August was the final straw. Like, he had the great start in April, but then the bad next 2 months. Horrendous in May and June. Turned it back up in July, so I'm like, okay. It seemed like every time I checked in, things were turning. So I was like, okay, I'll give him a little bit more time. I finally checked in late August, and I was like, all right, September call-up, it's got to be Condon. Because he had a bad August, we'll call up Condon, and DeLauder has to go to the bench. Now, I obviously didn't send out DeLauder, but he's not starting against righties right now. Meanwhile, Renfroe, we kept him up because he's supposed to be good against lefties. He's got amazing ratings, but the stats just haven't been there. Well, they started to turn. Things were going well. Like I forget when it was. It had to have been late July, early August, because as you can see, he had a pretty bad August, and he hasn't been good in 4 games in September. But there's a period where I went to say, okay, is it maybe time to move on from Renfroe, bring up Condon? He'd kind of gotten his numbers up to like the 90s with his composite WRC plus, and then just over 100 against lefties. I was like, all right, well, he's playing well. And then as you can see, since then, whenever that check-in was, shit has gone south. He's been dreadful. But either way, Condon's up. He got his first homer in his second game. Congrats to him. As you can see, he's been up now for 5 games. He's got a homer and a hot 316, 409, 474 slash line. Now, the other reason I kept him down was because in addition to just not needing him, okay, maybe you squeeze a way to get him up there and just say, fuck it, it's Charlie Condon, let's get him up. But he has a great relationship with Ben Johnson, the hitting coach down in AAA. And so that was very encouraging. Excellent relationship, literally the top category. That was encouraging me to let him stay down there and work with Ben Johnson, because when you turn around and look at Chris Valaika, average relationship. And that's kind of a bummer, by the way. That actually puts Valaika on a little bit of notice this year. First off, he's not a great coach. He's average at teaching hitting, and his relationships, they're good on the whole, but his average ones include 3 key guys for our team: Patrick Bailey, Heston Kjerstad, and Charlie Condon. So I don't think he's going to keep his job this year. I'm going to stick with him through the rest of this year, but I try to keep some of the coaches around. I'm less concerned about that. I talk about how me and a couple other YouTubers we didn't get together and decide this, but one of the general tenets that we try to follow is to keep some of the team together, right? Kind of keep as many of the originals as you can that can be part of your rebuild as possible. And again, I'll stress, there is nothing wrong with doing the opposite, burning it to the ground and rebuilding it from scratch. That's fun too. I do enjoy that. I'm less concerned about keeping some of the coaching staff around, or really any of it, especially in the minors, but even at the major league level. Maybe if they've got like a known manager or something, sure. But we didn't have to, keep Stephen Vogt or whatever. In fact, we don't even have Stephen Vogt. We got Joe Madden as our bench coach. So I am not locked into that. Chris Valaika, kept him around for a bit. He's going to be gone after this year because he's only average. If he was like good, excellent, or legendary here at teaching hitting, I might just let this slide with the with the mediocre relationships here. But there's just too many important players. 3 very important players. Like, if you really think about it, who is our core of super important players? It's those 3. Naylor. Well, I'll put both Naylors in there for now. Jimenez, Ramirez, Arias, Watson, DeLauder, and Stowers. Like those 11. Just off of looking at this list here. And so, he's got a bad relationship with 3, or mediocre, average, right? We got to be fair. We can't say bad, but only an average relationship with 3 of them, 2 of whom are pretty young guys that we're trying to build. Well, I guess 26 is not that young because Bailey's also 26. So if I'm going to say Kjerstad is young at 26, then Bailey is too. So a young guy in 22-year-old Condon, and then two like mid-20s guys who are still in the developmental stage, though. You can still develop at 26. So anyway, I'm getting too long-winded with this. Valeka going to be gone later. And that's got you caught up on my checklist here. Now, we sit on September 9th, as I mentioned, with a wild card in hand, 79 and 58. We're looking pretty good for a wild card. Now, we can still have some position jockeying here, whether it's for the number one wild card or the division is in play, y'all. We're 3 games back. So let's go ahead and get into it and finish up the season here with some live simming. We got trips to San Diego and Oakland, so we got a little West Coast swing. Then we come back to face KC in Minnesota. We head down south for Tampa Bay, Charlotte. Then we come back home to face Baltimore, and then we go to New York for 4 to end the year. Let's hope that those 7 games matter. Or if they don't, then let's hope that they don't, because we kicked so much ass here in these subsequent 3 weeks, or these preceding 3 weeks, I guess it would be. So here we are. We've got Cantillo, Raylo, McKenzie, Eflin, Logan Allen. Those are our 5 in the pen. Espino's going to come back up soon. He'll probably take Jaime Ardias' spot, who just came up for September call-ups. But he'll stay in the bullpen because he's not having a great year. All right, let's start. Took a big drink there. Man, after you've been talking for a while, like, I know I'm not saying anything particularly insightful, and I'm like, dude, water's good. I know it's so dumb. But after you're blabbing for 45 minutes straight about your computer baseball team, just taking a nice drink of cold water feels so good. Anyway, we win 4-3 in game 1. We rebuffed them. They buffed us, and then we rebuffed them. I don't know what that means, but it sounds weird. Raylo, 5 1/3 scoreless. Love it. The bullpen got knocked around a little bit to make it close, but we held on. Yeah, they scored 2 in the 9th to really tighten things up. Ooh, good thing we scored that insurance run in the top of the 9th. Oh, that was Kyle Stowers, baby. He got 33 bombs. I can't wait to do the team review. Because I did that all-star review, we're not going to get into how everyone's doing right now. I'll kind of bring up player seasons in passing here as we go down the stretch. All right, game 2 at San Diego. Did I hit it? I think I did. Yeah, we cop a dub, 8-7. Ooh, and we had to score a bunch late. In fact, we didn't even score until the 7th. They were up 4-0. We make it 4-2. They immediately make it 7-2 in the bottom of the 7th. And then we drop 2 in the 8th, 4 in the 9th. Bingo, bango, bongo, we get the dub. We smoked Bednar and Adrian Morejon. McKenzie was mediocre. Funderburk got smoked, but then Arias, Henches, and Clase shut it down. J-Ram hit his 23rd of the season. Jimenez had a big day, 2 hits, 2 runs, 3 ribbies. 2 hits and 3 ribs for J-Ram as well. So, okay, I like that. I like that quite a bit. Can we get the sweep here? We've already got the series. Just win series. We'll take the sweep, though. Another 1-run victory, 6-5 here. And we fight off another late charge from them. We score 1 in the first. They immediately get 2 back, but then we drop a 5-burg in the 3rd. No scoring all the way till the 8th when they tack on 2, and then an extra run there in the 9th, but we held on. Whew. Little scary there. Eflin went deep in the game, gave up 4 runs, 3 of them earned in 7 1/3, but then Franco Alomar shut it down with an inning and 2/3. Josh Naylor hit his 29th. Y'all, the power breakout happened. Oh, I'm so excited about that. Now, he's another guy. You know, you look at Manzardo, and this was another reason that Manzardo was expendable. It wasn't just the power thing that I was mentioning. It's the simple fact that we've got Naylor, right? Like, we got kind of 2 of the same guy. I think Manzardo, you know, he has a better eye, right? Which generally I would favor if I was kind of looking between those two, but I like Naylor. He's a lot of fun. He's a cool character to kind of, you know, do our little stories with too. Yeah, I think if you compare them, I don't think it's actually that close that Manzardo's better. 15 eye advantage, 10 gap advantage, and only 5 avoid K advantage for Naylor. But who cares, right? Because we knew we could get something big for Cal Manzardo, and that trade has been nice. Heston Kjerstad, I haven't mentioned his stats at all today. How about nice 2.5 WAR in 126 games with 26 bombs. I got no issues with that whatsoever. Strong defender too, helping us cover center field when we need it. All right, so we get a sweep there. We head out to Oakland. They're wretched, 53 and 86. Let's keep the win streak going. We're on a win 4 now with an 8-0 dub. Kerstead, speak of the devil, hits his 27th. Cantillo, Bybee were brilliant. Yes, Bybee is in the bullpen. Speaking of, let's go see what Espino's doing. If he just started, then we'll wait till he's... Nope, he's actually at 100%, so he would actually start today. Boom, let's bring him up. Not to start, but just so he's at full stamina. Try not to bring up guys when they've just pitched, because then you got to wait for them to regen, and so it's better to just wait. I realize that probably goes without saying, but I know sometimes myself I forget, so that isn't so much like telling y'all like, hey, I never forget to do that. It's almost a reminder to myself like, hey, don't forget to check that. We have Funderburk and Henches in the bullpen, so Arias is a little expendable. I don't know if we need 3 lefties. He's not that great either. Hey, he did well in his 7 innings, and he had an amazing year at AAA. This is probably going to bum him out getting sent back out, but he moved down to normal, so he's not pissed about it. He knows he can hang, though, and he's like, come on, man, let me back up there. Oh, weird thing I never ended up telling y'all about. This guy, Dietrich Enns. I remember him as, kind of a knock-around pitcher some years ago for a very little bit of time with Minnesota and Tampa Bay. He came back over to our league from the KBO with a different name. And I changed it in the offseason. I signed him. I guess I didn't put it on any of the rundowns that I did because it wasn't that big of a signing. But I did want to tell y'all about how his name was like just Juan something. I don't remember what it was. It was just some nondescript name. But then when I was like kind of going in and like looking at him, I saw that he had Dietrich Enns' Twitter handle, and I was like, okay, then why isn't he just Dietrich Enns? I don't understand. So weird. But anyway, that happened. So if you go and find somebody and they've got a Twitter handle that doesn't look like it belongs to them, maybe that happened in your sim too. So I have no idea what went on there. Very bizarre. All right, let's put Espino back in the bullpen. He's not been having a great year. Now, I'm not going to use that as a justification or to like clown myself and say, oh, we should have traded him. We should have known he wasn't going to be good. I thought, to be honest, I was like, well, if we don't trade him, then at least we're going to have a good pitcher. And I would have thought in the bullpen especially, he'd be very good. But he's having a brutal year. 45 2/3 with a 6.11 ERA, 151 whip. But 22% strikeout minus walk is so good. I look at the home run rate and the BABIP, and I do wonder if, there's some fixability here. 379 BABIP, 1.6 homer. Now, he only has a 50 homer suppression. So he's going to have to figure that out. That's not just magically going to get better. He is contributing to that. Just as I'm sure he's contributing to the 379 BABIP on some level, right? I always make a case to, not just say that it's pure luck and, he's not contributing one way or the other. And that goes for guys with great whips too, or great BABIPs too. Somebody can be having a 220 BABIP that isn't going to hold up over the whole year, but they are pitching their best baseball at the time, so they're earning it, so to speak. But anyway, things have been bad with those skills, but there is just variance there, and we don't have the next level details of stats that we do in real life to know like how much of that is luck based or sustainability based or whatever. Sorry, Reese Olson just got hit with a comebacker. Now the Tigers are throwing the ball all over the place, and I think 2 runs are going to score from it. And if Reese Olson's hurt, I'm going to be particularly sad about it because he's been having an amazing year. He literally has a 216 whip. Well, he just gave up a run right now. And he's walking with his glove off of his hand and kind of doing like a limp. I think he got hit square in the hip. Oh, yeah, that didn't look great. And then for some reason, Jake Rogers just, I don't even know. I can't even describe it. And I know this is something that, someone could be watching this like 2 weeks after I post it. So for a nondescript Monday night Tigers-Royals game, they're like, what the hell is he talking about? I'm sorry, but I got to have my Tigers on. Try not to let it distract me too much. Anyway, Espino hasn't been good. Let's hope he can close strong because we're going to need him in the playoffs. Like right now, and it could change, but right now I plan to take him onto the playoff roster. That stuff is just too good. And I still look at a 22% strikeout minus walk, which is fantastic. And I still believe he can very much help us. He is only on high with the scouting accuracy. So we got to get that to very high. You already know. All right, can we sweep Oakland? And then we head home to face KC. These very same Royals that are now beating my Tigers 2-0. Reese Olson taking some practice pitches. Hopefully he's okay. Bullpen looking out, seeing if they have to warm up. Oh my God, we get trounced 13-1. I was going to make a joke that it was probably Espino. Turns out it wasn't a joke. Now, it wasn't all him. We gave up 13 runs. All 4 guys contributed to it with just a pretty awful day. We must have had a real bender in Oakland on Saturday night, and the guys just were not ready to play. But it was a Sunday night game, too. Like, we had the extra time, and we still weren't ready. Raylo got smoked. Bradish. Espino did, in fact, get smoked. 4 earned in inning and a third. Fuck, Reese Olson's coming out. Ah, come on, man. Why does the trainer kind of look like me, too? Son of a bitch. Someone's going to send me that on Twitter. Hey, I saw you helping Reese Olson out. Not every white guy with glasses is me. But this guy kind of looks like me, God damn it. Anyway, Cody Funderburk got absolutely trounced too. Things haven't been working out so well with him. I think they were, and I really do think it's been these last couple outings. Let me check my work on that. We picked him up when we got him on 8-1, so we can literally just look at August's split. Okay, that's pretty shit. Was he shit all August? All right, literally his second appearance, he gave up 3 runs. And then another one right after that. Then 3 scoreless outings, but then another 1 and a 4. 3 more scoreless outings, and then back-to-back 3s. So, yeah, it's kind of boom or bust, which is pretty rough as a reliever, where you're either going to have a shutout inning or just get completely dumpstered. I mean, that's a pretty tough way to live. Fundy, do you have opties? You do. Okay, well, Arias, it's your lucky day, buddy. We're going to send the old Funderino out, let him clear his head, and we'll call Arias back up. Because he was doing well in his little sample, and, let's let him see if that breakout campaign at AAA has any realness to it. I mean, you're striking out 33% despite a 45 stuff, so I don't know. His velo did go up in June, only to 91, 93, but it's an indicator of legit improvement. So let's go with it. All right, we have to shake off that loss. That was really ugly. Espino did get back to very high scouting. Did anything happen? The overall and potential drop. I kind of figured that might happen. I was like, I don't know if I want to do the extra scout because it's probably going to be bad news. Like a few incremental drops, and that's exactly what it was. KC 68 and 76. Let's take a look at the standings real quick. We now have the top wild card spot, but we're now 3.5 back. So I think we were 3 back. So I think we lost a half game despite surpassing the Yankees. So we're in that number 2 spot. If you win the division, you get a bye though. So there is real value to getting this win. So let's see what we can do here. We got the Royals, then the Twins. The Twins are very good. They're leading their division. The Rays are pretty solid. They have, I think, the same record as the Twins. Very close. Actually, it's better. Yeah, they have 78 wins. So they're 4th in our division. They'd be 1st in the other one. Charlotte, of course, is bad. And then Baltimore's great, and the Yankees are good. So the schedule, pretty tough. Only KC and Charlotte, as far as record, coming in a little light. But hey, we're not taking anybody lightly here. We've got work to do. Let's get it going. Tristan McKenzie, Zach Eflin, Logan Allen here against KC. Assuming we're on the right schedule. Oh, it's McKenzie, Eflin, Cantillo. You know how sometimes the fatigue kind of gets off kilter, so it doesn't quite go in the perfect order. Because I just do start highest rested. So it looks like Allen will be skipped. And they'll just go back to Cantillo after McKenzie and Eflin. And frankly, I'm okay with that. That's why I do the always start highest rested, because if the fifth starter can be skipped for your ace, then why not? So we will do that. In fact, they're not even skipping him. It's just that he's tired. So we're going to leave it like this, though. This is fine. All right. Game 1 against KC at home. 5-4 win. 3-2 loss. 3-day injury of groin soreness for Jose Ramirez. Just a little day-to-day bitty. And we'll give him the 3 days off. It's September. We've got an extra body. We're not going to push our very best player. You know, like, these games matter. Because, again, winning the division would be excellent. But I'm not going to bend over backwards to do it, a.k.a. pushing Jose Ramirez when he's nicked up. I am going to maybe do something. Actually, you know what? How close are we to it? Okay, we're close to a day off. Because I have it on 97, I think, for rest. Yeah, default batting bench when fatigued, 97. And the Condon and Kerstead were both at 95, but the day hadn't finished yet. Because you know when it stops you on the day of an injury? So then when you sim through that, now we see only Condon is tired at 95 and we'll let him get his day off. In fact, I'm going to force it just in case. The computer's good at sitting them at that 97, but sometimes they don't. If the way your lineup works kind of requires them to play them. What I mean is, in this case, Ramirez is out. Now, this will not create a chain reaction where Condon would play, but there could be a situation where, because we're benching Ramirez, let's say Arias was the backup in left. He's the second backup, but let's say he was the first backup. Well, he's going to play third. Then they would probably look, if Arias was right here, and be like, well, Condon has to play. He's at 95. It's not that bad. And then they'd play him. But instead, we're going to force bench him, guarantee that they'll play DeLauder with Arias playing third, and then we're golden. That's how it should go. Let's see if it follows that. And we win 4-1. And oh, it was against the lefty. So it didn't matter anyway. It was DeLuca, Renfro, and Kerstead that played. So Kerstead was actually the fill-in there for Condon, I think. Oh, no, who DH'd? It's whoever was the DH. Stowers. Okay, so it worked. I was looking at the verse righty lineup, not realizing we were about to face a lefty. But it worked. Cool. First box score, 5-4 win. McKenzie, Deese. Bailey hit his fourth with us. Then we lost 3-2. Eflin, Deese, 5 innings, 3 runs, 8 Ks. That's okay, but it was a 2 whip with 10 base runners. But then Arias and Henches, 4 scoreless combined. And then the 4-1 win that we just showed there. 40th double of the year for Naylor. So he's got 40 dubs, 30 bombs. Love that. Love the 70 extra base hits. That's incredible. All right, day off. We'll take it. And then we play Minnesota and we get another day off. These 2 days off close together, sometimes I make fun of those. I'm like, oh, why? What do we need those? With this stretch run coming up, though, and how important every win is, I'm actually giddy that we've got these two. I think it's going to be a big help for us. We're 2.5 back. Baltimore, by the way, let's see what their schedule's looking like. They've got Anaheim, who stinks. They're terrible. So that's like us having Charlotte. Then they get 4 against the Yankees. 3 against Boston, who I believe is pretty decent. 76 and 70. Yep, that's a capable ball club. Then the series against us. And then they close for 4 at Tampa Bay. And they're very good. So their schedule's pretty tough, too. The only reprieve is the Angels, just like our only reprieve is Charlotte. All right, we got Minnesota here. They're 78 and 67. Let's take a look at these matchups. Joe Ryan, Chris Paddock, Pablo Lopez. So 3 current real-life twins against Raylo, Logan Allen, and Tristan McKenzie. Let's see what we can do here. Shar realizing the door's closed. Like, I guess I'll get back in this bed. This is bullcrap. I want to go hang out with Hinwe. We lose 3-0 game one. Raylo was excellent, but Henches and Clase blew it. Uh-oh, Joe Ryan only pitched 3 innings. He did get hurt, but then Carl Edwards Jr., the string bean slinger, came in for 3 perfect to bridge the gap. Wow, that is stepping up there. Always root for guys that have my body style. Just string beans. I mean, he's got the perfect nickname. He had that on his Players Weekend jersey. I had to buy that instantly. I always talk about how Tristan McKenzie is my direct body comp at 6'5", 165, but Edwards is close. Edwards really isn't too far off at 6'3", 170. You know, just a little bit. And I'm probably shrinking at this point. You know, I'm getting old, so I'm probably like 6'4.5" at this point, whatnot. All right, game 2 against Minnesota. Don't be stupid. All right, 8-5 win in 11. How'd this one play out? All right, so we had to come back in the middle of the game, and then they scored 1 in the 11th, and we dropped a 4-bomb on them. Let's go. Josh Naylor went yard for his 31st, and Kerstead hit a 3-run walk-off shot against Yohan Duran. Oh, my God. That is electric. Duran's having a rough year. For as good as their season's been, frankly, I'm kind of surprised they're sticking with him at closer. I mean, I shouldn't say it like that. We've seen this before where teams stick with their crummy closer because, you know, they're just kind of letting him work through it a bit. And even with a 5.25 ERA, I'm sure there's been good innings, maybe even some good months. Let's see. Okay, he started off the season great. April and May, that's Duran. But then a disastrous June, went into like a mediocre July that they could maybe justify, like, oh, he's kind of coming out of it. But then bang, bang, horrendous August and September. And yeah, I'm going to go back on what I originally said, or go back to what I originally said. I'm a little surprised that they're sticking with him in the closer's role. Where else would you go? Their options are limited. Brendan Bernardino has a 22% strikeout minus walk. Maybe go with him. But Duran's 19% is next. So I'm going to waffle again and say I do kind of get it. Can't make up my mind on this one. No, I do kind of get it. I really do. But maybe we can burn him again here in game 3. Let's see. We need the series win here. Especially because it's a good team, too. Uh-oh, Carpenter. Bomb. 2-1. Tigers down. Thanks to the Gary Carpenter home run, though. Cut the lead in half. All right, we get a 4-3 win. Let's go. Eflin, strong outing. 6 innings, 2 runs. Khalil Watson hit his 4th homer, a 2-run shot off Brendan Bernardino. And I was saying he should be the closer. Well, maybe not. Andres Jimenez with 4 hits at a baby. All right, let's take that off day and keep going. Tampa Bay comes in, or we're going to Tampa Bay for 3. It's 2-game lead for Baltimore. We've now opened up a 3-game lead on the Yankees, so we're feeling kind of good there. Although, obviously, if they stay within 4, then they could take it back in that final series. All right, let's do the simming here first. See if I kind of like watching the standings change. Well, we lost. You know what? We'll only go check the box score if we win. So we lose 1 at Tampa Bay. We win 1, okay. And we've guaranteed ourselves a playoff spot. We were feeling pretty good about that. I didn't want to jinx it or anything, but, you know, I was pretty confident. Andres Jimenez currently has an 18-game hit streak going, too. You know, as good as our season's been, that's the only leaderboard thing that we have. And I know it's only the top 3. I realize it is such a tiny portion of the pool. And I think I even said this in another episode in this sim. Like, we could feasibly have a bunch of guys ranked 4 through 10. So, you know, a ton of top 10 guys, but obviously they're not going to show up on a bunch of top 3 leaderboards. It's just weird to me that we are having such a good year and nobody's top 3 in anything except for a hit streak, whatever. All right, so last game against Tampa Bay, we won 7-3. We get to look at that one. Raylo wasn't great, but the bullpen stepped up big time. Let's go. And Jimenez hit his 15th. And he had a big 3-hit day. Oh, my God. He's a monster. And that was against a lefty. He goes yard off of Beeks. All right. Back to the standings we go. Game 3 against Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay is another loss. Dang. And Baltimore won. So they're kind of pulling away. We lose 4-3. That's a tough one. McKenzie threw a quality start. He and Rasmussen matched each other kind of pitch for pitch. 6 innings, 3 runs for both of them. Elman gave up Clase's run there. Who did it? Junior Caminero, sac fly. Son of a gun. All right, well, hate that for us. All right, we got Charlotte here. And frankly, I got to be greedy. I got to ask for a sweep. We got to make up for that series loss if we're going to have any chance here. It's going to be dicey, right? Like, we're probably not going to win the division. Okay, let's just be honest. Yankees didn't help us out here, losers. And then they're probably going to beat us. Like, I'm talking shit for them coming up lame against Baltimore, and you know that I'm, like, putting it out into the ether there, so then the computer's going to make them smoke me. I do have to keep remembering, like, we do have 3 against Baltimore at home. So if we take 2 of 3, even if we only take 2 of 3 here against Charlotte, we're still in the mix. So let's get to it. We win 1. We lose the second in 10. That's annoying. 2 one-run games. Oops, I wanted to go here and just do month save because I don't want to save twice in like three game days here. The 20-game hit streak ends. Oh, wait, no. They're saying that it's continued here at 20. Sorry. I thought it was signifying the end of it. No, he's up to 20 games. Dude, he's having a hell of a year, Andres Jimenez. All right, well, that sucked. We have to get this 3rd game here. Like, you cannot be dropping a series to Charlotte. And, of course, we do. 6-3 loss. Unbelievable. We're 4 back with 3 against Baltimore at home and then 4 in New York. There's still a chance, but if we come up like a game or 2 shy, I'm going to freak because I'm going to look at these 2 series here, especially the one against Charlotte. Look at this little idiot, y'all. Look at this freaking geek. She's just dreaming like, I freaking pwned you, Dad. Absolute dweebazoid. Just completely asleep, has no idea how much of a twerp she is. All right, here we go, the big Baltimore series. Oh, shit, and he did lose his streak. That's unfortunate. I jinxed it. I'm just kidding. I don't believe in that shit. He did get on base with the walk, though, so his on-base streak is still going. And he got on base. Oh, no, okay. That was a strikeout, sorry. So it's a 22-game on-base streak. That is the longest hit streak of the year. So that's something. Or in the American League only, sorry. There was 28 from Arenado, 25 from Betts, and Jackson Chourio also had 20. All right, so we feel pretty good about the number 1 wild card, which is good, but it's also not guaranteed. So let's not F around here. Is there a universe where we could sweep Baltimore? We got Corbin Burnes to start game 1. 7-2 victory. Burnes gets knocked around a bit. Raylo was brilliant. Khalil Watson hit his 5th, a 2-run shot. Everyone but Gabriel Arias had a hit. He at least had a walk, so he did get on base. And everyone but J-Ram and Arias scored a run, too. All right, game 2 to close out the month. And then don't forget, we got the Yankees for 4 in New York to finish out the year. Do we get the win? Do we get the win? Do we get the win? Bang! 6-4 dub. Trevor Rogers gets murked for 5 runs on 7 hits and a walk and 4 1/3. Tristan McKenzie was not great. 10 base runners and 5 1/3, but only 4 scored. And then the bullpen again. Jaime Arias and Sam Hentges step up big. They throw an inning and 2/3 perfect and shut that sucker down. Condon rips his 5th double. He's been hitting all right, I think. Yeah, 105 WRC plus. The rookie holding his own, doing his thing. Oh yeah, they gave him some love in the little write-up too. All right, so we take 2 of 3. We get the series. That's massive. Can we get the sweep here? We are 2 games back. That would just be unbelievable. Meanwhile, the Yankees have lost 4. All of a sudden, y'all, if they keep skating like this, they could miss the playoffs. Now, it's going to take a miracle. Boston or Houston pretty much have to win out. Actually, how's Houston not eliminated? How could they make it? There's 79. I'm not going to do all that math. Nope. Don't get distracted, Paul. Who gives a shit? All right, game 3 here. Zach Eflin against John Gray. Okay, they're both pitching pretty similarly this year. We picked up our guy this year. They picked up their guy this year. So a couple newcomers. They traded him for Mike Sirota. Not Soroka, Sirota or Sirota. A nice defending outfielder. So not a terrible little trade there. All right, can we get this? Give me the sweep. Bang, 3-2. Let's go. Zach Eflin. Oh my God, classic dodging raindrops. One of my favorite phrases when a guy gives up a ton of base runners, but only gives up a couple runs. 11 base runners, 1 run for Eflin. Boom. Looking like Neo out there. Daniel Espino did blow the save. Inning and 2/3, gives up a run, but turns it over to Hentges, who drops another 2 strong innings. And Kyle Stowers hits his 35th, and it was a walk-off shot, baby, against his old ball club. Oh my God. Gunnar Henderson only has 14 homers on the year. That's a little underwhelming. He's having a great year, though. It's just that the power's been a little out. Yeah, you can't really be too mad about a 4-WAR season with a 131 WRC plus. He did miss some time with a strained hammy, a sore wrist, and a sprained wrist. Different wrists too. And he did have a setback on the right hand one. So yeah, 3 injuries kind of undercut his season a bit, but when he played, he was still a god. Just a little bit surprising on the power there. All right, y'all. Here's the scenario. We've now cut it to 1 by sweeping Baltimore in the penultimate series of the season. We now catch a very struggling Yankees team right now. Oh, by the way, I'm a goofus. I was thinking the old school 3 wild cards. Houston had a chance because they were chasing Boston. Now, they still needed a miracle, and as you can see, they're out. But it wasn't the dire situation that I thought it was. I was trying to do the math of how Houston could catch the Yankees, and I was like, the math ain't math. And I know that's an overused phrase right now these days, but that's what I was thinking. I was like, I'm not going to get buried in all that. But they were chasing Boston. But now it's set. The NL still has some things to settle as far as who makes the playoffs. We don't have anything to settle from that front, but the American League has to figure out where we all go. So the Yankees are going to hold on despite their collapse. We're going to basically take the entire AL East, trading out Toronto for ourselves. And then in the AL Ryan, they're only bringing Minnesota. So we knew our division was going to be tough. Thankfully, we've been able to hang in it. Now let's see if we can get the division. We've got the Yankees for 4. And their pitching still has some real strong name talent, but they haven't been great this year. Garrett Cole has a 4.81 ERA. Clark Schmidt at 3.95. Carlos Rodon at 4.78. Nick Pavetta's come over from Boston, and he has a 4.29 ERA. Actually, he's come over by way of Arizona. And he left Boston for Minnesota in a trade. So he's been around quite a bit already just in our 2 years of the sim. He went from Boston to Minnesota via trade, then became a free agent, signed a minor league deal with the Diamondbacks, then got traded from Arizona to New York for Arturo Centeno. That's a decent prospect. That's not a bad trade. He's 17 years old. All right, so we get those 4. They also have Jose Alvarado. So 4 original Yankees and Alvarado make up their top 5 players. Judge, Cole, Rodon, and Volpe are the other 4. So it'll be Logan Allen against Cole, then Cantillo against Schmidt, Raylo against Rodon and McKenzie against Pavetta. Here we go. Yankees didn't help us out here, losers. And then they're probably going to beat us. Like, I'm talking shit for them coming up lame against Baltimore, and you know that I'm like putting it out into the ether there, so then the computer's going to make them smoke me. Game 1. Nah, 2-0 loss. Shit. Connor Gillespie retired. He was an okay pitcher, but not a huge loss there. And Hunter Stanley also retired. Oh, I do have to check one thing, y'all. Sorry for stretching this out right now. I need to make sure the personnel's okay. There's some guys we're purposely not bringing back. I just want to make sure. I think we want to bring Lopez back. Although he's only good development in average mechanics for a low minors team, I kind of want him to be better than that. I think I'm going to let him go. Ian Forster, he's an original, so he's gone. Shane McCarthy would make for a decent manager. Now, he's a pitching coach right now, despite average pitching, so I don't like that. I said coach, I meant manager. He'd make a good manager. Omir Santos. Okay, so Santos is leaving. We're going to let him just go. In fact, we're going to let the whole Midwest group leave. I think we're going to fire Santos right now and then promote what was it, McCarthy? Yeah, Shane McCarthy is going to be promoted to that job. So let's do that. I doubt this is the case, but let's check something real quick. Is Lake County any good? Our low minors usually suck. Yeah, 51 and 81. Okay. It wouldn't matter if they won playoffs or whatever, but I was like, I don't want to fire their manager if they're about to make the playoffs or something, but they're not. So I'll fire Santos, and then I'll promote Shane McCarthy into that role. What? He doesn't want to be the manager? What? Well, fuck you then, dude. That's rude. He's got good relationships with our pitchers down there, but he's not a great pitching teacher. So, I mean, I like the good development and excellent mechanics, but I don't know, like, you're just a better fit for a manager. But if you don't want to do that, then I'm afraid I'm just going to let you go, brother. Sorry about it. All right, AA. I think we might be cleaning house there. Cody Buckle or Buchel. I don't know if it's Buckle or Buchel. We want him around. This dude can get some stuff done. Now, he's another guy who's like a good manager. So I wonder if he would take the promotion. Oh, DeCenzo's supposed to be here through 26. Well, I think that's not gonna happen. Let's fire him. And we already resigned Buckle. I'm gonna go with Buckle. Will he take the manager job? Fuck off, dude. Will he take Tracy's job? I'm gonna fire this guy too. Will Buckle take the AAA job? Because at least that's a promotion. What a piece of garbage. Will McCarthy take the job? Let's try AA. Oh my God, dude. Nobody wants to work anymore. I know I used that phrase. I think I used that in a previous episode recently too. Oh my God, what a joke. Well, all right, well, we're gonna have to hire some new managers. That's fine. I'll do that offline. All right, sorry for that detour there. I just wanted to think about it before the season ends and they all get fired, but we're not keeping any of them. All right, so we lose 2-0. That really hurts our chances here. I think we need to win the last 3. Did Baltimore win? Actually, if they didn't win, then we're fine. No, they lose again. We're still only 1 back, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Garrett Cole smoked us. But hey, Logan Allen was awesome. So, oh man. Rafael Devers hit a homer for the 6th straight game. That's bananas. In real life, sorry. All right, game 2. Oh my God, we lose again. Are you joking? Are you joking? We're really going to gag this opportunity here? And Baltimore wins. We got to win the last two, and we need help. We're going to watch on Baltimore's screen. Come on, Tampa Bay, help us out. Yes, they win 7-2. Shane McClanahan with a big outing. Corbin Burns, not great, but then Tyler Wells gets smoked out of the bullpen. Meanwhile, we lose again, 1-0 in 10 innings. Raylo was great. Sam Hentges let the ghost runner score. Shit, man. That sucks. We are gagging this opportunity. Oh, I don't think I can change it for this year now, but somebody brought up something great that I do want to have. The tiebreaker game. I hate that MLB got rid of that. I know it's mostly, I think, due to the expanded playoffs, and so the way they have to kind of work things. I get it, but figure it out. Oh, you know what? Since we can do it, I'm going to turn it on right now. And since the season isn't over, if we have a tiebreaker game, that'd be great. I'd rather that than it just being decided by some dumbass tiebreakers. But we're probably not going... Oh, wait. We're 2 games back with 1 game left, right? Oh, yeah, we lost. Oh, we're good. We're good. I mean, I'm still going to keep this on, but we're cooked. We gagged it, y'all. I mean, we lose three in a row at New York, so we deserve that. All right, let's play the last game out. It's been a bit of a long episode. All right, we do win. Who gives a shit? That annoys me. That really annoys me because we really could have gotten that bye. But you know what? We'll grind through the whole bracket. That's all good. So, here's what it's looking like. We're going to get the Boston Red Sox. I kind of wanted the Yankees, right away after getting spoiled by them for the division. I kind of wanted our chance to kick them out of the playoffs. But that'll have to wait. The only chance that we would be able to face them would be in the LCS if we both made it. So we get them, or we get the Red Sox, The Yankees get the Rays with the Orioles and Twins waiting. Now, don't forget, it reseeds. So it doesn't mean that the New York Tampa Bay winner is definitely going to face the O's. All right? It all depends what the seeds are of the 2 winners here. And I like that better personally. Let me know what y'all think about that. I don't think I'm going to change it unless everyone's like, that's the stupidest thing ever. I might be moved by a throng of people saying it's dumb, but it's kind of, that's how I played most of my Sims. I just think it's more compelling. On the NL side, it's going to be St. Louis and the Mets, Pirates and Cubs, and then they're going to be squaring off against the Dodgers and Braves in some form or fashion. So there you go. The 2025 season's in the books. We're making our first playoff bid, 94-68. Hell of a season. Very happy with where we're at in year 2. Can we turn it into some playoff success? Like I said, this is a long one, so of course we're going to go ahead and cap it here, and we'll get into the playoffs next episode, of course, with that wild card round against the Red Sox. Peace, y'all.